Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Turnips to Tangerines, and today we are going to be making a copycat recipe of KFC's coleslaw. It's a very easy recipe to make. I'm going to be using a baked coleslaw mix with green cabbage and carrots, and I'm going to shred an onion, and then we're going to be making the dressing, which is actually the secret to this coleslaw. So, if that interests you and you'd like to know how to make that, continue watching the video. Thank you! First thing we're going to do is we're going to take our coleslaw out of the bag here, and this is just a 14-ounce bag. You can make more of this. You can tailor this to make this for a lot of people, or a few people. This is just going to be for me and my husband. And then what I'm going to do here is just chop it lightly like this. KFC's coleslaw, if you've ever had it, is actually more of a chopped cabbage type salad or coleslaw mix, and they don't use the red cabbage, so this doesn't have any red in it. I don't know if it's a real biggie, but you could just make your own and shred your own carrots and your own cabbage, which in the fall, when cabbage is in season around here, that might be a really good thing to do. But like I said, I'm just going to lightly give it a chop here and make it more of a chopped coleslaw. And that looks pretty good. And just keep turning it over and chopping it. Actually kind of makes more that way too here. There. Now the recipe I found on Pinterest called for finely dicing an onion for this recipe, but I prefer in my coleslaw, if I add onion at all in my coleslaw, which I don't always do, I prefer it to be shredded. So that's what I'm going to do. There we go. That looks pretty good. You could even chop this up a little finer if you wanted to. I like to have a little bit of chunks when I eat my coleslaw, so I'm going to do that. And then we're just going to take our little grater here, and I think I'm going to use this side here, and I'd say about no more than 2 tablespoons of shredded onion. Oh, I'm even going to get that much in here. Maybe not. Whew. Well, you want it? I'll make your eyes water. Am I? There. Let's kind of scoop that out. That looks roughly about enough there. Like I said, more, or you can chop it up if you prefer, but like I said, I kind of like to have mine a little shredded here, and then you're just going to sprinkle it on the top. That should be plenty. After all, it is coleslaw, and I like to taste the cabbage. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our dressing. And the dressing calls for a 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, and I'm of course going to be using Hellmann's, and a 1/2 cup stirring that in. Roughly a half a cup. Give or take a little bit. Okay. Oh boy. Will you dogs stop that, please? And then it calls for a 1/3 cup of plain old white everyday sugar, granulated sugar. Which I didn't have that ready either. A 1/3 cup. So I guess you could probably say this isn't real diabetic friendly. I wouldn't say, no. And then we're going to add the 1/4 cup of whole milk. And we're going to add a 1/4 cup of buttermilk. And then we're going to add 2½ tablespoons of lemon juice. And I don't have any lemon juice right now. So I'm just going to use the bottled that I do keep on hand for emergencies like this. When I go, uh-oh, I don't have that. So 2½ tablespoons of lemon juice. And we have 1½ tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And that is 1½. So we got 1 cup. 1½ tablespoons. And we have about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And that you can adjust, I'm sure, according to your taste. Like I said, I am not a real salt person, so I don't tend to use a lot of salt. And some ground pepper. And I'll wipe all this off here. Okay. Ooh, there we go. Wow. And I'm going to use my little whisk here. Whisk it up. Until it's nice and smooth. Looks good already. On my phone. Nobody ever calls me when I'm not on doing a video. The minute I do a video, my phone rings. It never fails. Kind of like the minute you turn on the shower, the UPS guy comes to the door every time. Oh, yeah. Okay, now we're going to put our dressing on top of our coleslaw mix. If I can get it on there yet. It's a nice, sweet, tangy dressing, and I think that's why people really like their coleslaw, because the dressing, I think, is the best. Okay. Set that aside. I want to slowly just let that do its thing and let that sit. Like I said, I could have added a little bit more of the mix, the coleslaw mix, but to me it looks kind of good already. But I'm not going to try it because it says to let it sit, at least a couple hours. So I'm going to say at least, to be on the safe side, let this sit in your refrigerator a good 4 hours. Just to let all the flavors mend together, meld together, melt, however you want to say it, I don't know. Together, marry, some people say. For the full benefit. I think you could even let this sit overnight and it would even taste good then too. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna go pop it in my refrigerator, and I'll be back and show you the end results. See you then. Bye now. Mm. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. That tastes good.